Growing up in a family woven from subtle, unspoken magi by Oct. 21st, 2025. Growing up in a family woven from subtle, unspoken magic was less like inhabiting an ordinary home and more akin to living at the heart of a kingdom, a sacred coven where whispered truths, unseen energies, and ancient faith pulsed beneath every moment of our lives. This was no mere family by blood alone. Beyond my parents and my quiet brother, our circle included aunts, uncles, grandparents, and step-parents who drifted in and out as chosen soulmates, each bound not only by lineage and marriage, but by the living, breathing magic that intertwined our destinies. Our home was not a house, but a sanctuary built upon arcane wisdom, elemental forces, and ancestral rituals, a place where the mundane and the mystical coexisted, invisible yet irrevocably real. The magic that coursed through us was never flashy or loud. It wasn't the kind of magic proclaimed in fairy tales, bursting with light and spectacle. Instead, it was subtle, as elusive as a shadow, as soft as a breath, yet as vital as the blood that flowed through our veins. It was in the quiet confidence of my mother's hands, which seemed to shape currents of calm out of chaos, in the steady, unyielding gaze of my father, a living anchor amid the storm of existence. My brother, close in blood and soul, moved beside me like a reflection, a silent partner in a dance choreographed by the unspoken rhythm of family magic. Our extended family, seasoned aunts who sang under moonlight, uncles whose laughter concealed ancient knowledge, grandparents whose lives were etched with ritual, and step-parents who joined the covenant not by chance but by soul's design, each added their own flame to the collective blaze. This shifting constellation of souls created and sustained our magic, an invisible pulse that gave breath and life to our faith. Every gathering, every stolen glance across a crowded room, every shared silence was a thread in the sacred tapestry that bound us all. As a child, the true scope of this legacy eluded me. I only recognized fragments, stories whispered in the dark, symbols traced in the earth, songs hummed during twilight rites. I knew that beneath our ordinary lives thrummed a power older than history, a secret faith nurtured silently through generations. This magic was the language of love, undiminished by words, spoken in silence, felt rather than heard. When I left that kingdom to traverse the world alone, I carried this intangible inheritance as my deepest armor. Across deserts where the sun scorched bones and seas where the horizon stretched to infinity, the magic was my compass and shield. It moved beneath my skin, whispering guidance when I faltered, and lending strength when fear clawed at my heart. Every city I passed, every unknown face, every shadowed alley carried the burst and ebb of that ancient faith within me. My world was vast and unpredictable, and yet within me roared a quiet certainty. This subtle magic was a tether to home, a living pulse that never failed. I returned, then not merely to a childhood home, but to the kingdom we had built, the sacred coven's hearth now dark and empty. Time had begun in unrelenting rites of passage. Methodically, inexorably, the ancestors I had only glimpsed in stories, the aunts and uncles, the grandparents and step-uncles. Growing up in a family woven from subtle, unspoken magi, by Oct. 21st, 2025, parents who had been pillars of our magic were taken by a slow, deliberate death walk. It was as though the universe itself had conspired to strip away each pillar of our shared covenant one by one, leaving an increasingly hollow silence in the once vibrant halls. Each loss amplified the power welling inside me, a dark flower blooming in the soil of grief. My mother's passing rendered the air with a silence so profound it echoed in every empty corner of our kingdom. Weeks later, my father's death completed the final, trembling step of the death walk. The ancient ritual of passing that ended an era, fulfilled a prophecy, and opened a cosmic gateway. Their deaths coincided with a rare astrological moment, an astral void of everything, an alignment of celestial forces recorded only in the oldest texts as a time when the universe folds in on itself to rest before rebirth. This was no ordinary eclipse of fate, but the cosmic breath before a new creation. And in that breath, the subtle, unspoken magic that had been our whispered covenant erupted within me with a force beyond imagining. It was no longer a gentle current, but a storm, a wild, raw energy fracturing the boundaries of time and space. The great faith that had carried me across deserts and seas fed this storm, fueling a cosmic fire that consumed the old world and forged a new one in its wake. Time folded like delicate parchment, realities bent and blended, galaxies surged into being with the heartbeat of my unleashed power. I was no longer a guardian of an ancient familial magic. I was the fulcrum of an entirely new cosmic order. From the crucible of ancestral faith and profound loss, I emerged as the architect of a new universe, a god born from whispered legacies and unyielding conviction. This universe I command is fluid and boundless, shaped by a faith that stretches across the fragile veil between nothingness and creation. The subtle magic of my family, once silent and secret, now roars as an all-encompassing force, sculpting stars, weaving destinies, reshaping time like clay. I am no longer bound by mortality or solitude, but exalted into a creator's throne at the heart of infinite possibility. Every particle in this reborn cosmos echoes the living legacy of the coven, each star a hymn to the quiet power of unspoken faith, every breath a testament to the love and ritual that once bound a family in a kingdom of subtle magic. From loss sprang creation, from silence sang a new cosmos, and from a single soul, transformed by faith and fiery homecoming, emerged a god of timeless power, bearing the eternal flame of family, forging infinite worlds from the quiet echoes of vanished ancestors, and shaping the very destiny of existence itself. In this new existence, the nature of my godhood was unlike any divine image ever imagined. It was born not from hubris or desire for dominion, but from the profound crucible of loss and relentless faith. The silent magic of my ancestors, the rituals whispered in candlelit rooms, the sacred symbols etched into worn wood, the chants rising like smoke under moonlit skies, these echoed within me as the foundation of my power. Their spirits had not vanished but were reshaped, their essences folded into the very fabric of this emerging universe, flowing through infinite possibilities, guiding this rebirth. Two growing up in a family woven from subtle, unspoken magi. Oct 21st, 2025. With each passing moment, I felt the presence of my family intensify, not as ghosts trapped in memory, but as vibrant forces in a cosmic dance. My mother's nurturing calm rippled like a soothing current through the newly formed dimensions. My father's steadfast courage was the bedrock upon which stars took shape. My brother's quiet solidarity echoed as a constant hum, grounding my expanding power in the delicate balance of mercy and strength. The aunts and uncles, grandparents and step-parents, the entire coven, every soul chosen and bonded, wove their energies into a vast, living network. This was a communion of force and spirit that expanded far beyond human constraints, a sacred constellation bound by love and faith now immortalized in the very essence of creation. Yet this new godhood was not an isolated empire. It was an invitation, a call to all who still believed in the quiet power of unspoken magic and ancestral faith. I became the custodian of not just a cosmic kingdom, but of countless destinies shaped by hope, memory, and raw potential. The universes I shaped were mirrors of the coven's subtlety, fragile and fierce, delicate yet boundless. Each new world was a silent hymn to the ancient traditions that raised me, the unspoken bonds, the shared silences, the ritual fires that smoldered beneath the surface of everyday life. Even as the power swelled, humility remained my cornerstone. This creation was a testament to sacrifice, to the enduring spark that theology cannot contain, the spark of human connection transformed into cosmic force. I was no tyrant but a sacred flame, lighting the way through uncharted realms of time's pace, a guardian of the invisible magic that sustains all life. There were moments when the weight of both infinity and isolation pressed down, the loneliness of godhood stretching infinite and cold. Yet in these moments, I found solace in remembrance, the soft pulse of an ancient song carried by the night winds, the familiar patterns left by my family's touch woven deep into the universe's new fabric. Even in solitude, I was never truly alone. The quiet magic that had first nurtured me thrummed like a heartbeat, unbroken and eternal. With each dawn of a new world, the profound lessons settled deeper into my core. True power is born not from domination but from faith, in family, in the unseen, in the vast and mysterious forces that ripple beneath the surface of existence. From the subtle magic of whispered vows and silent rituals, from the slow, steady death walk that emptied our kingdom, emerged an eternal covenant. It was a sacred trust between a God and the infinite cosmos, a promise that all that is lost will be transformed and reborn through the unyielding power of love and faith. And so the universe moves forward, shaped by the silent voice of a family once lost but now immortalized, by a faith that grew exponentially in the void, and by the quiet flames of magic no longer hidden but blazing like galaxies across the infinite canvas of time and space. Here at the heart of it all, I stand, no longer just a child of magic, but the new god of a universe reimagined, endlessly creating, endlessly believing, endlessly becoming. 3.